Today is Friday, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And all us Yankee fans have this sickening feeling in our guts this morning. That was rough.
I mean, it was insane. The game flow, Judge, immediate home run, following that, another home run, and then you think Yankees are going to win. That ending. As an outsider looking in, that was a fun game to watch, but gosh, that was a pretty intense game. This morning, heading out the door today, well, a similar start to yesterday, somewhat frosty. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. In fact, a live look outside right now in downtown Utica. Quiet start. This is a common sight over the next few days. Nothing too notable regarding that weather in the morning, aside from maybe some patchy fog and some patchy frost. Temperature sitting at 31 in Rome, 30 degrees in Hamilton, 24 chilly degrees up in Saranac Lake. And the radar, again, is looking dry early today. The next 12 hours, we start out in the 30s, but unlike yesterday, we climb into the 60s by this afternoon. A very pleasant afternoon, evening. You have any Friday evening plans? This is a great one to do it. And we still are tracking nice weather that could extend through the weekend and into next week. We'll talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Bassett Healthcare Network.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone. Happy Friday. As we take a look at our final work day this week, heading out the door this morning, you could be seeing some patchy frost once more with temperatures right around 30 degrees, some spots even cooler. In fact, in downtown Utica sitting at 33 degrees. In Cooperstown, 29, and then finally down in Oneonta sitting at 34 degrees. And all these spots here, fog not too much of an issue, even looking at some of our satellite data coming in as well. Looks like patchy fog has been isolated to parts of the Finger Lakes early today. But as you can see here too, there's still some patches here and there. Again, not as widespread as yesterday. But heading out of the door this morning, patchy frost, temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Another one of those mornings you kind of want to bundle up. As you head throughout the afternoon, we're going to warm up quickly from the 30s up into the 60s with plenty of sunshine. This will be a great afternoon, a great evening to spend time outside, and this could likely extend into the weekend. We'll look at that, plus what you can expect for fall foliage and beyond straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We now know where you will be able to stream.
Spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
We are Central New York Brain and Spine Neurosurgery.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. This Friday starting out a little chilly, but we've got a fantastic afternoon on tap. And while the weather is quiet, I want to talk about where I was yesterday afternoon. I was not here for the noon show. I was visiting my old hometown school of Unadilla Valley. Able to do some presenting for the 6th grade class and able to teach them a little about some of the forecasting tools we use as they work on their project, and they were absolutely great. As you can see here is the stars of the show. And on top of that, I was able to go and reconnect with a lot of teachers I haven't seen in quite some time, which was great. I get to visit again the school where I graduated in 2017. So a few things have changed, but the school pretty much has stayed true to what I remember back when I was younger. Downtown Utica right now, it's a quiet, frosty start in some spots. Temperatures starting out in some locations in the 20s. Most of us are in the 30s. 31 Westmoreland, 30 in Little Falls and Dolgeville. A little bit warmer in some spots in the North Country, but to the south. 28 Sherburne, 29 Cooperstown, and 32 degrees in Oneonta. The radar this morning is looking dry, and as we head throughout the day, again, dry weather continues onward. So if you have any plans to go out and check some of the high school football games tonight, bundle up a little bit. Temperatures will fall back into the 40s, but besides that, it's dry. Keep those sunglasses handy before you head out. Now, as we head into the weekend, fall foliage nearing past peak in the southern valleys as well as past peak in the North Country. We're nearing peak colors in the Mohawk Valley now, and regardless, you can look out your windows and see the colors are vibrant. A lot more grays, though, are popping up as you head into the higher elevations. And if you have a chance to go out and do any fall activities while enjoying the fall foliage, well, this weekend, you couldn't ask for better weather. Mother Nature has really blessed us this fall. I mean, we had a few rainy days, but these sunny skies have been a blessing moving in to these weekend hours. But to our skycast, temperatures in the 30s this morning, climbing up into the 60s by this afternoon with wall-to-wall sunshine. By tonight, lows fall back down into the 30s, patchy frost. Back into the 60s by tomorrow afternoon. Lots of sunshine, comfortable humidity. And then by tomorrow night, lows falling down into the 30s. Not nearly as widespread of a frost by Sunday as that wind shifts more southerly. But by Sunday afternoon, maybe a passing high-level cirrus cloud, but that's about it. Upper 60s in some spots, so this is a fantastic outdoor weekend. And this nice weather continues onward from Monday and Tuesday. Highs upper 60s, low 70s. This is a stretch you don't quite see in late October, so get out and enjoy it, because following this week, we are seeing a gradual cooling trend moving back into the 50s and eventually more fall, late October, early November type weather to wrap up the month. But overall, we'll enjoy the nice weather while we still have it. Gary?
Sure will. Check that out right there.
Gorgeous.
Best news of the day. Best news. Eric, thanks. New details are emerging.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And happy Friday to you, and you as well.
Yes, happy Friday. The weekend is almost here, and we're talking about a great weekend weather-wise as well. We're not talking about rain. We're talking about sunny skies, comfortable temperatures as well. Even today, the early weekend begins this afternoon. As a matter of fact, a look outside early today. Well, it's a crisp one out there. Downtown Utica starting to pick up on traffic early this morning, but overall those temperatures are sitting right around freezing for a lot of the Mohawk Valley, North Country, and Southern Valleys. But it's a crisp one up in parts of the highest of the Adirondacks, 24 degrees in Saranac Lake. The radar right now is entirely dry, and this is going to be a common sight between now and roughly Wednesday of next week, with almost nothing notable picking up on our radar scans in the morning, afternoon, or evening hours. We're in a dry spell, and this dry spell continues today with warmer temperatures than yesterday. We had highs in the 50s. Now today, warming up into the 60s by this afternoon. So again, wall-to-wall sunshine today. We've got clear skies tonight, enough to view the rest of the waning full moon in the sky, as well as the comet. And coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about the best way to find the comet in the night sky. It involves an app that you can use that will really help you. Wow. Gary?
And that moon was bright last night.
Very bright. One of the brightest moon of the year.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. And don't forget his Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Friday morning as we take a look at our photo of the day today. This one takes us to Frankfort, and what a great scene yesterday. Even driving through parts of the hilltops, you could see that yesterday the vibrant fall colors and that very heavy frost in some locations really gave the scenery quite a unique look. This amazing photo right here sent in by an anonymous viewer from Frankfort of a frosty fall morning. If you would like to submit a photo like this one, send to the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Now, we're going to talk about temperatures this morning, but I also want to mention the fact that as we head into this afternoon, we'll see the potential for, actually this evening I should say, potential for viewing Comet Atlas. And now, I mentioned yesterday the viewing conditions. You want us to be looking in the western sky between 7:15 and 7:45. However, it's very faint. It's very difficult to see with your naked eye while trying to look for it. I recommend getting the app called Sky Guide. It's one word. It's free. You can download it. And what it can do is you can move it around. You can press the compass icon on the screen, and it will basically show you what each star is as you move the phone around the sky. And you can actually select or search for the comet, and it will show you exactly where it is in the sky, and you can pinpoint exactly where to look. So very helpful because, again, it is very faint. But back to the temperatures. It's a frosty start this morning. We're up into the 60s by this afternoon. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Well, they're popular baby products, but when infant support...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Friday morning, everyone. We are starting out this morning on the chilly side again. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. A live look at downtown Utica. You can see, of course, it's a quiet start, but we'll be looking at warmer temperatures arriving this afternoon up into the 60s. So even warmer than what we've seen all week long. Current local temperatures this morning starting out in the 30s for much of the North Country, some locations dipping into the 20s. In the southern valleys, temperatures in the 30s and 20s, 29 Cooperstown, 28 in Norwich. The radar itself is looking entirely dry early today, and this is going to be a common sight between now through the weekend. Matter of fact, with high school football happening tonight, Friday night lights, what's the weather going to be like? Well, we've got 40s expected between 8 and 9 p.m., low 50s by 7 p.m. So clear skies, dry weather, but definitely grab that decent jacket to stay warm. I know metal bleachers do get cold, especially when we dip into the 40s. But our fall foliage report for this weekend calls for near peak, if not peak colors in most of the lowest elevations in the Mohawk Valley. This is right around average for normal for this time of year, with most of the lowest elevations usually seeing peak colors mid to late October. This is right around that time frame here. Past peak for much of the North Country, Southern Valley. Still some pockets of very vibrant colors, but a lot more gray is mixing in as well. And so if you have any fall activities, enjoying the fall foliage, well, you've got great weather for it. This has been a blessing here locally in a lot of weekends. We've had at least 1 or 2 days of just fantastic outdoor weather, sunshine and temperatures in the 60s for both Saturday and Sunday. And so in our Skycast, there won't be really too much to point out regarding just besides temperatures. We've got highs climbing into the 50s, near 60 degrees this afternoon. We're back down into the 30s with patchy frost early tomorrow morning. Following that, a dry afternoon, sunny skies, highs in the upper 50s to eventually climbing into the mid 60s. And then following that, we'll cool back down into the 40s and 30s overnight Sunday morning, and then rebounding back into the 60s by Sunday afternoon. But notice here, almost every single day is going to be completely dry and almost entirely sunny. And this continues beyond the weekend into the start of next week. Monday and Tuesday, we have to bring out those shorts again. We're talking about upper 60s, low 70s with lots of sunshine. Our next chance of rain looks to be Wednesday. And on top of that, we'll still remain in the 60s for that day as well. Slowly seeing a cool down arrive as we head into Thursday and Friday of next week with potentially a few more rain chances. We'll be right back.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
It's a happy Friday weather-wise, but us Yankee fans just sickened over that loss tonight. But we have a great forecast ahead.
Yes, well, the sunshine moves in today. We've got a sunny weekend as well. Nice weather moving in for all 3 days, even beyond. But this morning, it's a frosty start today. Matter of fact, a look outside early this morning. No fog like what we saw yesterday. Well, there is some patches forming in some outlying areas, but most of us are fog-free. But it is a crisp start today. Temperature sitting at 30 in Rome, 30 in Hamilton, 24 way up in the North Country, up in the cold spot of Saranac Lake. The radar right now is entirely dry, and we'll continue to see dry conditions for the entire day today. Wall-to-wall sunshine, highs climbing into the low 60s. And if you have any Friday outdoor plans, evening plans, this is one of the best days to do it. And this will continue into the weekend. Fantastic weather across the board. We'll, of course, talk about what you can expect regarding fall foliage heading into the weekend, as well as how you can view the Atlas Comet. I know some more questions arose with the potential of how to see it if it's so faint. We'll explain why straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Bassett Healthcare.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. As we take a look at what you can expect heading out the door this morning, we'll start out with a look in the North Country. A frigid start, at least compared to what we've seen over the past few months. 30 degrees officially at Old Forge, with the potential for frost. 32 degrees in downtown Utica. Chilly start this morning. Same thing for Cooperstown, sitting in the 20s. And then finally in Oneonta, where it's not nearly as foggy as yesterday. In fact, pretty much all of the southern valleys were pretty foggy. But as you head out in the distance near Delaware County, that's where you can start to see that fog form. Look at the traffic tracker. We do have an incident that popped up here on our scanner from, looks to be a crash on I-90 westbound before exit 31, the Route 8, Route 12 connection. And that's the only information provided so far. But like a heads up, if you're heading on I-90, there is an accident westbound before exit 31. But this morning, temperatures starting out in the 20s and 30s, patchy frost this afternoon. Lots of sunshine. Keep those sunglasses handy as you head out the door, with highs approaching the low 60s. Fantastic outdoor weather expected for this Friday, Gary.
Beautiful. Thanks, Eric. We now know where you will be able to stream the holiday movie.
Weather spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
This portion of News Channel 2 is brought to you by PJ Green.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Friday morning, everyone. The weekend is right around the corner. We've got great weather for that, plus today. But before we get to that forecast, I want to share with all of you where I was yesterday afternoon, if you caught the afternoon news. And you saw James, because I was heading down to Unadilla Valley, my own hometown school where I grew up in the Berlin area my whole life, and got to see some familiar faces of the teachers and able to present some weather topics to the 6th grade class. Absolutely great kids there as well, and a huge shout out to the entire class here. I mentioned you guys would be on TV. Well, here you are. You guys are now stars of the show. And this was, again, an amazing visit. I was so glad I was able to reconnect with a lot of familiar faces, as well as go back to the school that initially gave me the ambition to go pursue the science career. Downtown Utica right now, it's a chilly start. Temperatures in the 30s, in some spots even in the 20s. Look at those local temperatures, 20s and 30s from the Mohawk Valley up into the North Country. Same thing in the southern valleys. Local temperatures for most of the area in the 20s and low 30s. The radar right now is entirely dry, and this is going to be a common sight between now and roughly Wednesday of next week. Not too much changing, nothing notable popping up here. But as we head into, of course, the most important time of Friday, for those of you who are football fans or have kids playing football, high school football, Friday Night Lights, temperatures will be falling into the 40s with dry weather. So you might not need an umbrella. In fact, you definitely don't need an umbrella, but maybe grab that heavier jacket, as well as that blanket too. I know just personally that those colder temperatures, those metal bleachers get very, very cold. Our fall foliage report for this weekend calls for past peak colors and most of the highest elevations. I took a trip down through to Oneonta yesterday, and I got to see that there's still some vibrant colors, a lot more gray mixing in, but by this weekend, a lot more of that will be faded. But most of the lower elevations will be approaching peak colors. Great weather for that this weekend to go out and do some anything fall festivity-wise. We've got sunshine Saturday and Sunday, and high temperatures in the 60s. Beautiful across the board. And so looking at our Skycast, besides temperatures, nothing really too notable. We've got highs approaching the low 60s this afternoon, dry conditions, cloudless skies, clear tonight, patchy frost, maybe isolated fog here and there. We're back into the 60s by Saturday afternoon, 60s again by Sunday. And this warming trend continues Monday and Tuesday. The start of next week looking very, very comfortable, very warm. Our next notable chance of rain looks to hold off until Wednesday. And then we'll see a little bit of a cool down as we approach Thursday of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We want to pass along some programming that we dug into our archives and are bringing back some historic shows for you. Starting Saturday morning, tomorrow morning at 7:30, the special Heroes of the Game with Hall of Famer Phil Rizzuto. Then at 5 p.m. tomorrow, it's the WKTV 45th anniversary special from many years ago. And at 7:30, a replay of the Heroes of the Game with Phil Rizzuto. And right after that, another Heroes of the Game with Hall of Famers Brooks Robinson, Phil Niekro, and Robin Roberts. This is all on WKTV+. Our goal here is to bring you as many of our archived shows to you as possible. And be sure to like us on Facebook.
2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And happy Friday with some sunshine. Happy Saturday, happy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Boy, it just keeps going on and on.
Yes, a large stretch of sunny days. Couldn't ask for better weather for the middle of October. And in fact, this morning, some locations wake up to frost. It's a chilly start, not nearly as heavy of a frost last night. And on top of that, nowhere near as foggy in some spots as well. Downtown Utica, gorgeous clear skies out in the distance. And as you head out the door this morning, you might want to grab that decent jacket early today. We're talking about temperatures in the 30s, 25, even chillier up in Saranac Lake. And the radar right now is entirely dry. We'll continue to see this trend as we head through the weekend and into the start of next week with almost nothing showing up and completely dry weather. Next 12 hours call for sunshine. Temperatures climbing as high as the low to mid 60s. A fantastic afternoon. If you have any Friday plans, Friday evening plans, or even weekend plans, we've got great news regarding that. Lots of sunshine and just absolutely gorgeous outdoor weather. We're going to talk about a few things. First, regarding the Comet Atlas coming up in a few moments, plus the latest fall foliage report straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is nevermore.
Welcome back to Sunrise this morning on this Friday. We are just a few hours away from the weekend. A fantastic weekend forecast, by the way. But let's start out with a look at our final photo of the day for this week. This one takes us to Frankfort, which was quite the scene, not only in this area, but also all across central New York with that heavy frost yesterday morning, along with that contrast of the vibrant fall foliage out in the distance. You can even see the moon out in the background as well. So amazing photo right here, submitted by an anonymous viewer of a frosty fall morning in Frankfort. If you'd like to submit a photo like this one, send it to the link right there on to the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Now, I've received some questions over the past few days regarding the comet. Obviously, for one, where can you find it? It's in the western sky, but also it's very faint. It's hard to identify out in the blue with your naked eye. Now, you can use a telescope, use binoculars, but if you don't have that, what you can do is grab this app called Sky Guide. It's a free app. You can get it on the App Store. I'm not sure if it's on Android. Some of you who have Android can help me with that. But what it can do is you move the phone up into the sky, you select the compass icon, and it will show you the stars and constellations based off of where your phone camera is aiming. And on top of that, you can search up the comet and it'll show you where the comet's path is. You can see exactly where it is in the sky, and then eventually you can use that to pinpoint where the comet is. So again, hopefully some more of you are able to see it tonight. I know I'm going to be spending some time tonight to see it myself. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Well, they're popular baby products, but when infant support cushions
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. As we head into today and eventually the weekend, we've got fantastic weather on tap. And this is all due to high pressure over our area. Taking a look at our radar and satellite imagery right now, we can see, of course, rain off the coast of New England and even New York City, but that still stays out in the Atlantic. And not a drop of rain for pretty much all of the Northeast. A strong ridge has moved in, keeping things completely dry. Now today we start out on the frosty side. Temperatures climb as high as the low to mid 60s, but following that by tonight, heading to any high school football games, lows fell down at least by 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. down into the 40s. So definitely grab that jacket heading to those football games, as well as maybe a blanket or two, because those bleachers definitely do get chilly as we enter the midst of football season. Our fall foliage reports as we approach this weekend. Well, we have a lot of locations north of the Mohawk Valley now entering the past peak time frame for now. We have some more past peak colors south of the Mohawk Valley, but then as you head into lower elevations, peak colors look to be pretty prevalent. Now, maybe a few more days until the lowest of elevations see those vibrant colors, but even those hilltops just in the outlying areas of downtown Utica are seeing plenty of bright colors. Throughout this weekend, we are talking about lots of sunshine and great outdoor weather. If you have any plans to view some of that fall foliage, well, this is definitely the weekend to do it. This is probably one of the last weekends of the season that we might see temperatures like this and sunshine like this. It gets very difficult beyond the middle of October to see lots of sun and, again, consistently temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. But as you can see here, that strong ridge of high pressure has moved in. And, of course, that warmer air is also moving in heading into Saturday and Sunday. Those oranges and even darker yellows are what indicates that forcing over our area is producing completely quiet conditions. And in our skycast, because of that high pressure, well, nothing really too notable. We've got clear skies this morning, areas of patchy fog, but warming up into the 50s and eventually 60s by this afternoon. Great outdoor weather across the board. By tonight, again, lows fall down back into the 30s. Potential for some patchy frost once more. Isolated fog before warming back up into the 50s and 60s by Saturday afternoon. Now we'll start to slowly see a slight south wind by Sunday morning, and that'll drag in slightly warmer temperatures and highs in the mid to upper 60s. So we're talking about fantastic weather for anything you have planned outside all weekend long. And through the start of next week, Monday and Tuesday, gorgeous conditions. Our next chance of notable rain showers looks to hold off until roughly Wednesday with a high of 68. And then we'll see a little bit of a cool down as we head in the middle of next week.
Furniture New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. As we head into today and eventually the weekend, we've got fantastic weather on tap. And this is all due to high pressure over our area. Taking a look at our radar and satellite imagery right now, we can see, of course, rain off the coast of New England and even New York City, but that still stays out in the Atlantic. And not a drop of rain for pretty much all of the Northeast. A strong ridge has moved in, keeping things completely dry. Now today we start out on the frosty side. Temperatures climb as high as the low to mid 60s, but following that by tonight, heading to any high school football games, lows fell down at least by 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. down into the 40s. So definitely grab that jacket heading to those football games, as well as maybe a blanket or two, because those bleachers definitely do get chilly as we enter the midst of football season. Our fall foliage reports as we approach this weekend. Well, we have a lot of locations north of the Mohawk Valley now entering the past peak time frame for now. We have some more past peak colors south of the Mohawk Valley, but then as you head into the lower elevations, peak colors look to be pretty prevalent. Now, maybe a few more days until the lowest of elevations see those vibrant colors, but even those hilltops just in the outlying areas of downtown Utica are seeing plenty of bright colors. Throughout this weekend, we are talking about lots of sunshine and great outdoor weather. If you have any plans to view some of that fall foliage, well, this is definitely the weekend to do it. This is probably one of the last weekends of the season that we might see temperatures like this and sunshine like this. It gets very difficult beyond the middle of October to see lots of sun and, again, consistently temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. But as you can see here, that strong ridge of high pressure has moved in. And, of course, that warmer air is also moving in heading into Saturday and Sunday. Those oranges and even darker yellows are what indicates that forcing over our area is producing completely quiet conditions. And in our skycast, because of that high pressure, well, nothing really too notable. We've got clear skies this morning, areas of patchy fog, but warming up into the 50s and eventually 60s by this afternoon. Great outdoor weather across the board. By tonight, again, lows fall down back into the 30s. Potential for some patchy frost once more. Isolated fog before warming back up into the 50s and 60s by Saturday afternoon. Now we'll start to slowly see a slight south wind by Sunday morning, and that'll drag in slightly warmer temperatures and highs in the mid to upper 60s. So we're talking about fantastic weather for anything you have planned outside all weekend long. And through the start of next week, Monday and Tuesday, gorgeous conditions. Our next chance of notable rain showers looks to hold off until roughly Wednesday with a high of 68. And then we'll see a little bit of a cool down as we head in the middle of next week.
This is New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. As we head into today and eventually the weekend, we've got fantastic weather on tap. And this is all due to high pressure over our area. Taking a look at our radar and satellite imagery right now, we can see, of course, rain off the coast of New England and even New York City, but that still stays out in the Atlantic. And not a drop of rain for pretty much all of the Northeast. A strong ridge has moved in, keeping things completely dry. Now today we start out on the frosty side. Temperatures climb as high as the low to mid 60s, but following that by tonight, heading to any high school football games, lows fell down at least by 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. down into the 40s. So definitely grab that jacket heading to those football games, as well as maybe a blanket or two, because those bleachers definitely do get chilly as we enter the midst of football season. Our fall foliage reports as we approach this weekend. Well, we have a lot of locations north of the Mohawk Valley now entering the past peak time frame for now. We have some more past peak colors south of the Mohawk Valley, but then as you head into lower elevations, peak colors look to be pretty prevalent. Now, maybe a few more days until the lowest of elevations see those vibrant colors, but even those hilltops just in the outlying areas of downtown Utica are seeing plenty of bright colors. Throughout this weekend, we are talking about lots of sunshine and great outdoor weather. If you have any plans to view some of that fall foliage, well, this is definitely the weekend to do it. This is probably one of the last weekends of the season that we might see temperatures like this and sunshine like this. It gets very difficult beyond the middle of October to see lots of sun and, again, consistently temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. But as you can see here, that strong ridge of high pressure has moved in. And, of course, that warmer air is also moving in heading into Saturday and Sunday. Those oranges and even darker yellows are what indicates that forcing over our area is producing completely quiet conditions. And in our skycast, because of that high pressure, well, nothing really too notable. We've got clear skies this morning, areas of patchy fog, but warming up into the 50s and eventually 60s by this afternoon. Great outdoor weather across the board. By tonight, again, lows fall down back into the 30s. Potential for some patchy frost once more. Isolated fog before warming back up into the 50s and 60s by Saturday afternoon. Now we'll start to slowly see a slight south wind by Sunday morning, and that'll drag in slightly warmer temperatures and highs in the mid to upper 60s. So we're talking about fantastic weather for anything you have planned outside all weekend long. And through the start of next week, Monday and Tuesday, gorgeous conditions. Our next chance of notable rain showers looks to hold off until roughly Wednesday with a high of 68. And then we'll see a little bit of a cool down as we head in the middle of next week.
Gage joining us now. And Eric, today it won't feel anything like Christmas around here, right?
No, because I was just going to mention, too, I mean, Holiday Vacation is a holiday staple. Every year we have to watch it. I hope this might be a movie where we watch it every year.
I think it might be. It'll be fun, yeah.
I'm excited to check it out. But yes, today feeling nothing like the holidays. It's sunny out. It's warmer out today. And we'll continue to see the sunshine through the weekend. Let's take a look outside in Oneonta right now, where the fall colors are vibrant, but starting to approach past peak in some of those higher hilltops. So this is one of those weekends where the Mohawk Valley and some of those locations just surrounding the Mohawk Valley will be in the peak fall foliage time frame. Temperatures across central New York are in the 50s, but that direct sunlight will make it feel a little bit warmer. Yesterday I was sitting outside and it was around 55 degrees, but that sun felt like it was 60, maybe even 65 degrees. The radar is completely dry this afternoon, and surprise, surprise, the next 12 hours, cloud-free, sunshine across the board, temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s, and the higher elevations, low 60s for the lower elevations. Tonight, clear skies, a potential for patchy frost to return once more, but as we head into the weekend, we've got warmer daylight hours. We'll talk about that, plus the latest fall foliage forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Congressional candidate Democrat John Mannion from over in the Syracuse area was...
Join Chief Meteorologist Bill Carter.
This on that Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, as you can see.
Samantha Wessing.
Severe weather all
Meteorologist Jill Reel.
The conditions in place right now, you can
Meteorologist Eric Gage. To get instant updates on floods, storms, and tornadoes. News Channel 2 Storm Tracker, tracking storms minute by minute to keep your family safe.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Today is shaping up sunny and overall pretty pleasant out. A live look in Cooperstown right now where the sun is shining. The trees are changing color at a rapid pace, and lots of locations in the southern valleys seeing pretty much peak colors closer to past peak as we head into this weekend and the start of next week. Current local temperatures sitting in the 50s in the Mohawk Valley, upper 50s heading down closer to Little Falls and Dolgeville. And then to the south, we are still in the 50s in the higher elevations, some spots still in the upper 40s, but of course we're going to climb quickly throughout the afternoon with all this sunshine. Radar is completely dry, and if you have any plans heading to Friday night under the lights with football games, we've got temperatures in the 40s, clear skies. Definitely grab that jacket and grab that blanket too to make sure that that you don't be too cold from the bleachers. Just from my experience, anything below, I would say 40 or so degrees, those bleachers are extremely cold. Our foliage report for this weekend calls for past peak colors for most of the North Country and for most of the Catskill area, including the highest elevations in the southern valleys. Mohawk Valley likely seeing their peak fall foliage this weekend and the start of next week before we will start to see the gradual shift to past peak foliage by the end of the month. But with the great weather this weekend, this is great conditions to go out and maybe pick some pumpkins. We've got temperatures in the 60s, 0% chance for rain, and on top of that too, dry weather on those fields, so you're not going to be walking through muddy conditions, that's for sure. And as you can see here, sunshine both days, temperatures in the mid-60s. Sunday a little bit warmer as we'll see a little bit of a south wind begin to move in. And so in our Skycast today, highs in the low 60s. Tonight, clear skies, lows falling down into the 30s. Patchy frost early tomorrow morning. Maybe an isolated location of fog, but that fog will lift and sunshine will be all across the board as we head throughout Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Then by Saturday night, overnight lows will fall back down into the 40s and 30s. I don't think frost will be as widespread Sunday morning as it is Saturday, but then we climb quickly into the upper 50s to eventually mid to upper 60s. So a fantastic weekend of weather all across the board. And not only does it stick around through the weekend, it continues through Monday and Tuesday. Upper 60s, low 70s. Say hello to summer weather making its return again. However, it's temporary. We'll still see some rain showers Wednesday, high of 68. A slight cool down by Thursday, and a continuation of cooler weather following that. But again, for now, we'll enjoy all this sunshine and all this warm weather. Gary?
That is great news for the Utica Zoo. That's right. They're holding their annual Spook. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin reporting from Tel Aviv. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now with nothing but good news, right?
Yes, lots of sun, great Friday weather, great weekend weather across the board. And in fact, it was nice weather yesterday to go out and visit my old school, my old stomping grounds.
And you were loving it, too.
Yes, Utica Valley, New Berlin, my hometown. If we take a look right here at some of the photos I took from when I went and did this visit for the 6th grade class there, talked a bit about weather as they are mentioning doing a project, a research investigation about weather. Here I am talking about the forecasting techniques that we use, some information about how the weather works, how the atmosphere works, and of course the stars of the show right here. So I mentioned you guys would be on TV. Here you are. Say hi to all of your family and friends watching early this afternoon. I showed it this morning as well. And again, a big thank you to the school as well as the students for allowing me to present yesterday. Oneonta right now, it's gorgeous out there. Well, it's still a little chill out, but 54 and sun is pretty pleasant for late October standards. Lots of sun as well. Pretty much the entire state, upstate New York, completely sunny with just maybe a few passing high-level wispy clouds out in the distance. Radar is dry, and we'll still see plenty of sun this afternoon. Clear skies tonight, frost potential early tomorrow morning, and then we're back into the 60s by tomorrow afternoon as this nice stretch of weather will continue through the weekend. Gary?
Eric, thanks. An Otsego County man is facing multiple charges.
You want direct to your phone anytime, anywhere.
Download the WKTV News Channel 2 app and know what's happening right here in the Mohawk Valley at all times.
It's easy. Just scan the code on your screen with your phone to download. You'll get breaking news alerts. You're going to watch newscasts live, and we have the latest weather.
The premier news app of the Mohawk Valley, powered by WKTV News Channel 2. It's free, and of course, it's easy to use.
Stay connected and informed all the time with the WKTV News Channel 2 app. News you want direct to your phone anytime, anywhere.
Download the WKTV News Channel 2 app and know what's happening right here in the Mohawk Valley at all times.
It's easy. Just scan the code on your screen with your phone to download. You'll get breaking news alerts. You're going to watch newscasts live, and we have the latest weather.
The premier news app of the Mohawk Valley, powered by WKTV News Channel 2. It's free, and of course, it's easy to use.
Stay connected and informed all the time with the WKTV News Channel 2 app.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are still looking at lots of sunshine, gorgeous weather for your Friday. We'll continue to see this heading into the weekend. But take a live look in Cooperstown right now. Temperature sitting at 57 degrees, approaching near 60 out there right now. But across parts of central New York, we are pretty much all in the 50s, approaching 60 in Little Falls, sitting at 59 degrees. 50s North Country, 50s in the southern valleys. In fact, 62 degrees reported over in Sherburne, finally approached that 60-degree mark. The radar right now is completely dry. It's expected to remain completely dry for the entire day today. Now, that also means if you're heading to, say, some Friday night football, high school football games, it's going to be a cool one, 40s, but completely dry with clear skies. So recommend grabbing that jacket, as well as maybe a blanket too, because those bleachers do get cold on those cooler Friday nights. Our fall foliage report for this weekend calls for peak colors in most of the lower elevations in the Mohawk Valley. Higher elevations north and south of the Mohawk Valley, roughly over 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, approaching past peak at this point. But still plenty of vibrant colors mixing in with some of those grays. But with the nice weather this weekend, it's going to be great to go out and maybe do some pumpkin picking. We got temperatures in the 60s by both Saturday as well as Sunday. No chance for rain, lots of sun. It also means the field conditions will be entirely dry, so you're not walking through muddy fields like what sometimes happens during the season. But regardless, sunshine both days, mid-60s for highs, even a little warmer on Sunday with that stronger south wind. But on our Skycast today, 50s for now, approaching the low 60s by this afternoon and this evening. Then tonight, temperatures will fall quickly down to frosty levels again, with those clear skies causing that radiational cooling. But then warming back up into the 50s, eventually 60s by Saturday afternoon. A pleasant Saturday and continuing this nice stretch. Not a cloud in the sky. Maybe some locations of patchy fog, but that's about it. I'm not thinking the frost will be nearly as widespread Sunday morning, but regardless, it's going to be a sunny afternoon, maybe a thin pass of a wispy cirrus cloud, and then temperatures climbing as high as the mid to upper 60s. If you have any weekend plans, this is the weekend to do it. Gorgeous conditions both Saturday and Sunday. This continues through Monday and Tuesday. This high pressure stays in place. We were approaching near summertime levels of temperatures by Tuesday. And then our next chance of any decent rainfall looks to be on Wednesday, a high of 68, before we're tracking a little bit of a cool down by the end of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk today. We are talking finance. Just kidding, just kidding.
Time now for a first look at the weather. Going to get you set for the weekend. Friday night football, Bill.
Looking really good. Clear skies. It's going to be a very comfortable night. High school football. It's going to cool off very quickly after sunset, which is about 6:15 these days, and temperatures will cool off very quickly. We'll be in the 50s here by 7 p.m. into the 40s by 8 and 9 p.m. So again, dress nice and warm if you plan on being out later into this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is dry. Our current temperature 62. It is comfortable. We're getting these big swings in temperature. We started out with temperatures in the 30s and frost this morning. Turned out to be very warm this afternoon. We're looking for more of the same heading into the weekend. Clear skies for tonight's viewing of Comet Atlas. We'll tell you the best time to view that and how to do that. Looking at frost tonight, beautiful weekend ahead. We've also got an update on the fall foliage across the area and what are the best places to go to see that. Cooling off quickly this evening, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. I've got to look at your weekend forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
You may drive by every day, not knowing what it looks like.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a beautiful weekend ahead. Temperatures will be in the 60s both Saturday and Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. The weather, again, looking phenomenal. Temperatures usually this time of the year are in the mid-50s. That's our average high. So we are going to be running well above average here over the next several days. But it does stay pretty chilly at night. Lots of nights will fall into the 30s here over the next few nights. But even those will start to warm up later this week. Or I should say next week, rather. Last night, did you get a chance to see it? This is Comet Atlas, taken by Rebecca. It doesn't look like this to the naked eye. It's very hard to spot with the naked eye. You need to use a telescope, binoculars, or night mode on your smartphone. You're looking to the west. It is still visible with those ways of doing that in the western sky, 7:15 to 8:15. So you have this pretty long window to do that. Again, if you have a little bit of help, there's also different apps out there that you can use to kind of help point you in the right direction as to exactly where to look. But again, we should be able to view this with clear skies in the night sky over the next couple of days. Fall colors are out. It is near peak across the Mohawk Valley. We're now considered past peak in higher elevations. Best colors will be taking place over the next week or so before the cleanup begins. Live look at downtown Utica, temperature of 60 degrees. We are looking at dry conditions all throughout central New York. Current conditions, Westernville 65, Dolgeville 63, Little Falls 66. And it's warm across the Southern Valley, 61 in Oneonta, as well as Cooperstown. Big dome of high pressure will drive our weather throughout the whole weekend into early next week. There's going to be very little change in the weather. with temperatures staying in the 60s. If anything, it's actually going to be warming up as we get into early next week. Tonight, clear, chilly, widespread frost. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Saturday, sunshine, beautiful, a light breeze, a beautiful afternoon. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Again, cools off Saturday night. We're down into the 30s heading into Sunday morning. Plenty of sunshine continues for Sunday afternoon, and it looks warm with high temperatures in the upper 60s. Forecast for tonight, widespread frost down at 31. Beautiful day tomorrow. We warm up quickly, 65 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's getting warm here next week. Temperatures in the 70s Monday and Tuesday, 75 Tuesday. Bust out the shorts. Sunshine Wednesday, 72. A cold front arrives Thursday, and it does knock the temperature down into the 50s for the end of the week.
I did eventually hear from Chris Ford, our co-worker,
Did he?
about wearing shorts, and he was wearing shorts today, and he'll have no problem wearing shorts next week. But wow, that is quite the warm-up.
It's going to feel like summer.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Leaf peeping is a growing trend that's exploding all over social media.
The leaves are changing color here and beyond. Here's reporter Sam Brock.
It's that time of year again. Splashes of red, yellow, and orange creating breathtaking views.
This is, without a doubt, the best hike to see the fall foliage.
Peak fall foliage now in season, with leaf peepers out in full force. From coast to coast, trees undergoing this magnificent color-changing effect. From Washington State and Colorado to New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. For visitors taking in these unbelievable backdrops, it's like stepping into a movie.
You don't like it here?
Oh, the leaves are great.
According to New Hampshire's own foliage tracker, mid-October is the best time to embrace the colors of fall. The Granite State, home to more than 90 different state parks, is expecting close to 4 million visitors for this seasonal sensation. Along Artist Bluff Trail in Franconia Notch State Park, one of the hot spots for sightseeing, large crowds creating some congested scenes with a bottleneck of people along the path.
We saw a few people come down from being on top saying how terrified they were at the top.
But Brian Wilson, the state park's director, says his team has tweaked and promoted new technology to better manage the flood of visitors.
We've got some reservation systems in place. It's helping us just kind of be aware of when they're coming and to kind of spread others around that are coming in.
The popularity of foliage tourism has increased over the years, driven in large part by social media.
Visiting Sleepy Hollow in the fall worth it?
With cities like Pomfret, Vermont, temporarily shutting down areas to non-locals.
The TikTokers or Instagram has really made the difference in the last couple of years.
Wilson's advice, try to grab a spot on the reservation system ahead of time, and if it's full, check out their social media accounts for hidden gems.
That's Sam Brock reporting. Coming up, women in manufacturing, a local high school for high school football.
I know, right?
Yeah, the weather's going to be fantastic. We actually have great viewing of several different things in the sky. We had the full moon last night, the comet that's going to be in the night sky for the next couple of days. We're talking about a different type of comet. Do you remember Halley's Comet? When it moved through space, it actually left behind some debris that is in Earth's orbit. In other words, it creates a meteor shower. We call this the Orionid meteor shower, and it peaks out Sunday night. So we should be able to catch some shooting stars actually anytime over the next several nights with a little bit of patience. You're going to look to the east for that. We'll have more details coming up. Weather looks warm over the next several days, not very late October-like. Temperatures in the 70s as we head into early next week. Looks like a really nice weekend here in central New York, but it does cool off pretty quickly this evening. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s here. If you're going to be taking the dog out for a walk, just keep that in mind. Some pretty warm weather here over the next couple of days. I've got to look at the forecast coming out. Back over to you.
I'm loving Layla. Layla, right?
Yeah.
Layla, the pause.
Pause like
very
that.
nice, very nice.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. This looks like a wonderful weekend to get out and enjoy fall, whether it's going to the pumpkin patch, picking apples, maybe just cleaning up the yard, getting an early start on raking the yard, or just putting the summer furniture away. It's looking great. Temperatures will be in the 60s tomorrow. We're looking at dry conditions throughout the entire weekend. Also, too, there's been a lot of interesting things to talk about in the night sky. Part of it is just the fact that we have clear skies going on for us. In addition to the comet, which will be visible in the western sky after sunset, we also have the Orionid meteor shower. This is going to happen Sunday night. Well, it's happening all month long, but it peaks Sunday night, up to 20 meteors per hour. Best viewed in the early morning hours of Monday. You're going to look for the constellation Orion, and it's to the east. It's going to be just to the left of that. The visibility is going to be great. We're looking at clear skies throughout the whole weekend. Sunset time nowadays is about 6:15 and quickly fading as we head into the next couple of weeks. Live look outside, Oneonta, 57 degrees, clear skies. It's going to cool off quickly. We're going to see frost again tonight. With such dry air in place, we get these big swings in the temperature. We'll be down into the low 30s again tonight, and that will be the case heading into the weekend, both tonight as well as tomorrow night. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's dry. It's going to stay dry throughout the weekend. Sky watchers, it's warm. Bob and Clinton, 61 degrees. West Leiden, 58. Norway, 59. Eric and Inlet, 55. Jeff and Mohawk, 59. And Westford, Dave checking in with 56. Big dome of high pressure continues to drive our weather, and that's going to be the case for the next several days. Eventually, this is going to move east, and it's going to bring warmer temperatures with it as winds turn into the west. Clear skies tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 20s to low 30s, so it's chilly tomorrow morning, but it's a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, a light wind, temperatures in the 60s. We'll cool off into the 30s again tomorrow night. Plenty of sunshine on Sunday, warmer with high temperatures in the upper 60s. Widespread frost tonight, 31 for the overnight low. Sunshine, a beautiful day tomorrow, 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The warming trend continues. We're into the 70s next week. 71 Monday, 75 Tuesday, 72 Wednesday. I guess that's the late October equivalent of a heat wave. 3 days in a row in the 70s. Some showers here return Thursday, along with some cooler weather with highs in the 50s. We'll be right back.
Last year, there were over 2,800 motorcycle crashes.
Fast, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
The weather beautiful today, and it's going to continue heading into the weekend. Great weather for high school football. It is going to cool off quickly as we head past sunset, which is just a few minutes away. Temperatures in the 50s at 7 p.m. and then into the 40s from 8 p.m. onward. So if you're heading out to a game, make sure you're dressed nice and warm, because it will be pretty chilly heading into this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The weather looks quiet. 59 degrees is the current temperature out of Griffiths and Rome. We hit 60 degrees today, and it's only going to get warmer as we head into the weekend. Interesting things to watch in the night sky. The almost full moon. It was full last night. Comet still can be seen in the sky with the right way of doing that. And also we have a meteor shower to talk about as we head into Sunday night. Some frost is expected overnight. Beautiful weekend ahead with much warmer weather. Temperatures quickly cool off this evening into the 40s. I've got a look at the weekend forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
For the first time since the big renovation.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Happy Friday. We've got a really nice weekend ahead. If you liked today, you are going to love the weather over the weekend. Sunshine Saturday, Sunday. Perfect weather if you're going out doing some apple picking, maybe starting the leaf raking process, or just getting things ready for winter here. We've got good weather to get out and enjoy. It's going to be warm during the day, but cool at night, and looking dry throughout the entire weekend. Temperatures in the 60s both Saturday and Sunday. Clear skies. I encourage you to check out the Orionid meteor shower, which peaks Sunday night, up to 20 meteors per hour. If you're looking in the evening sky, you could catch a couple of shooting stars. Again, the weather looks clear. This, not a shooting star, but a comet. This is Comet Atlas taken yesterday evening by Rebecca. That's still in the night sky, best viewed between 7:15 and 8:15. You're going to need some help. If you're looking to the west, it's hard to watch with the naked eye. You're going to need a telescope, a pair of binoculars, or better yet, your smartphone in night mode. That seems to be a very popular way to spot it. There's also apps out there that you can use to spot Comet Atlas. Still viewable for the next several days, but it is expected to get dimmer and dimmer going forward as it moves away from Earth. Our fall foliage report, hey, great colors across all of upstate New York. The only exception in the higher elevations, those are considered past peak. But this is the weekend to get out and enjoy fall color in the lower elevations. Live look in downtown Utica, temperature of 56 degrees, dry conditions, warm for now. Our sky watchers checking in the 60s, 59 though in Mohawk, 60 degrees in Paynes Hollow. We're going to cool off very quickly this evening as we've got clear skies in place. Big dome of high pressure in control of our weather, and that will continue to keep us dry over the weekend and into early next week. We do cool off quickly tonight. In fact, frost is expected by tomorrow morning. Temperatures start out in the low 30s. Beautiful Saturday. Temperatures warm up quickly. We'll make it into the mid-60s. We'll cool off quickly Saturday night. We're down into the 40s and 30s Sunday morning. More patchy frost early Sunday morning. A beautiful Sunday afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Tonight, widespread frost, 31. Tomorrow, a beautiful day, a light breeze, 65 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The warming trend continues. Temperatures in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before a cold front arrives, and that brings some showers and a big drop in the temperature. We're back into the 50s Thursday and Friday, but 3 days in the 70s. It's like the October version of a heat wave.
We'll take it.
So, yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6, Spencer Davidson, I think he's live. I mean, he was earlier in the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Not only was it comet weather outside tonight, because we had clear skies, you just caught a little bit of the northern lights.
Yeah, there's like a really faint glow. I just took a picture, just showed it to you. There's a little bit of green, just very minor.
He literally just walked in at the last, says, Jay, look! I'm like, the open. He goes, look! I love this. This is great stuff.
You know what? One of these days I'm going to miss the newscast. Anyway.
We'll be right there with you.
If that's the case, go outside and look. There's something interesting going on. So this photo capturing Comet Atlas, but also there's going to be shooting stars in the sky.
Yeah.
The Orionid meteor shower will be taking place. So lots of interesting things going on. You know what? Thank goodness, because if not for astronomy, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. We're looking at really quiet weather here going forward. The weather is going to be picture perfect over the weekend. Lots of sunshine ahead. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. Temperature of 43 degrees and cooling off. And again, temperatures will fall into the 30s here tonight. We're expecting widespread frost. Nice weekend ahead. I'll look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. From the streets to a prison cell to a Senate commendation.
Download the Storm Tracker 2 app. Free to install. Use the icons on the bottom to navigate between tabs. Get instant weather updates and alerts right on your phone. Storm Tracker 2, where we track storms.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are tracking a beautiful weekend ahead. We're looking at lots of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures are expected to be in the mid to upper 60s. Looks like a nice warm weekend ahead, but also keep in mind it's chilly at night. But wow, there's a lot of interesting things to see at night. We'll start with the Orionid meteor shower. That's something we can expect Sunday night, where we're going to have some shooting stars, some meteors. That peaks Sunday night, but you can catch shooting stars at any point in the night. It averages, like I said, 20 meteors an hour Sunday night. Again, do dress for the conditions. So here's the best picture I can get so far. This is using night mode on my camera. So I have a DSLR camera, and I have a way of getting a lot of light into that lens. You're not going to see something quite like this, but there's a faint glow of green. It's not like what we saw last Thursday, but it's still pretty interesting because this was not expected. And again, it is something, if you have the right equipment, you might be able to catch that glow to the north this evening. Again, that comet will be visible in the night sky too, although every day it's getting a little bit dimmer. You're going to look to the west after sunset. 7:15 to 8:15 is when it's visible in the night sky. A little bit easier to spot the fall colors. They're going to be peaking across the Mohawk Valley as we head into this weekend. Past peak for the hilltop locations, and the weather should be great to check that out. Again, it's going to be cold at night, some patchy frost. Well, the frost looks widespread, so if you are heading out early, you're going to have to budget in a couple of minutes to scrape that off the car windshield. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Big dome of high pressure in control of our weather. It will keep us dry over the next several days. Winds will eventually turn into the west, and the weather will warm up. Cold tonight, overnight lows in the low 30s. Sunshine tomorrow, warm. Temperatures climb into the mid-60s. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop down into the 30s, and we do this again on Sunday, a nice warm day with high temperatures in the upper 60s. Your forecast for tonight, again, widespread frost, 31 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, sunshine, beautiful, a high of 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Lots of sunshine continues, and we get into the 70s as we look ahead to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. A cold front arrives Thursday, bringing us back to reality, temperatures in the 50s.
So if you go back to today and right on through, what do we say, Wednesday? That's 6 straight days of sunshine, warm weather. We're making up for lost time after the rain we had the last couple of days.
Yeah, and this is unusual. Usually we get into more days like what we saw, clouds and rain. That's more typical fall.
It's coming, though.
Yes.
So now's the time, though, to get out and enjoy great weather. So much going on this weekend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go out and enjoy it. All right, thank you, Bill. Coming up next, after more than a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Okay, so you probably didn't see us at 10, because if you watched 10, then you're probably asleep. But at 10, we had a great picture.
You're lucky I stayed for the newscast.
I know. This was good stuff. We had a great picture of the comet, but tonight, we got a glimpse of the Northern Lights again.
Yeah, it was during the newscast. It was popping in and out. Was able to capture this unexpected.
Yeah.
Unexpected. I did get an alert, because I follow this all the time, even if there's not a chance.
Sure.
But then I see the numbers come up, and sure enough, there's a little bit of a green glow.
A little bit right
to
across the
north.
middle of the picture there.
Yeah, this is right here on Smith Hill. So it happened for about 15 minutes, and then it faded out. But it does go to show you that, you know, the Northern Lights, they come, they go, and sometimes they're unexpected. What we can expect is the comet, which has been visible in the night sky, and we should be able to see a couple of shooting stars as we get closer to the peak of the Orionid meteor shower. So more on that in just a second. Now, a live look at the radar. Things look quiet. It's clear. It's cold. Temperatures are cooling off. We're 39 degrees. We're below freezing tonight. Widespread frost is expected heading into tomorrow morning. Beautiful weekend ahead. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. From the streets,
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. It's looking to be a beautiful weekend here in central New York. Lots of sunshine expected Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will climb into the 60s. It looks warmer on Sunday compared to Saturday. You can catch a few shooting stars in the night sky as we approach the Orionid meteor shower peak, which will be Sunday night. You can see up to 20 meteors per hour. Look towards the east for the constellation Orion, but really you can see it anywhere in the night sky. Also, you can catch Comet Atlas, still viewable in the evenings after sunset, 7:15 to 8:15. Look to the west, and again, you're going to need some help, a telescope, binoculars, or night phone settings on a smartphone with your camera. Again, pretty tough to spot. It will get dimmer and dimmer going forward. Peak color is expected across all of central New York, or at least I should say the Mohawk Valley, and most areas heading into this weekend, with fall colors starting to fade along hilltop locations. Frost tomorrow morning, it's going to be a chilly one. We've got a dome of high pressure in control of our weather, and we are looking at dry conditions that will continue throughout the weekend. Chilly at night with dry air in place and clear skies. They're going to drop down into the low 30s by Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, sunshine, temperatures in the mid-60s. We cool off Saturday night into the 30s again, and we'll see plenty of sunshine on Sunday. Frost tonight, 31 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, sunshine, beautiful, high of 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Lots of sunshine heading into early next week. It is warm, too. Temperatures climb into the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before a cold front arrives. Jason, back to you.
Bill, have a great weekend. You have a great weekend, too, but don't go anywhere. Thomas and Spencer.